Good morning, this is Jim Williams with the Hurricane City Tropical Update for August 6th, 11 a.m. We're watching Tropical Storm Ernesto gathering strength this morning. Here is the HurTrack program showing our animation of the future path of Tropical Storm Ernesto, which should soon become a hurricane. Now this is based on the 11 a.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center. You can see our system approaches Belize, the country of Belize, right at the northern border. That's the official forecast anyway from the Hurricane Center. I think it might come in maybe a little closer on the coast of Belize, maybe closer to Belize City, or it could come up a little bit closer to Punta Allen, Mexico, up here in the southern Yucatan Peninsula. But at any rate, these people need to be prepared for hurricane conditions, and this would be coming in the early morning hours on August 8th, which is Wednesday morning in the early morning hours. This would be coming ashore. Potentially, I think personally, this could get up to Category 2 strength or maybe even stronger with the heat content and the favorable conditions in the Western Caribbean. This is going to be one to watch as it closes in. You know, the country of Belize has a very rich hurricane history of major hurricanes coming in that were in this same position around the same time of the year, moving to the west. They tend to strengthen when they head toward Belize. So, we could see potentially maybe even a major hurricane here, but this is going to ramp up pretty good as it comes into Belize. So if you're living in Belize, make sure you have your shutters up. Get everything ready now. You got about 24 hours. The countdown clock has been activated at Hurricane City, and you have about 1 day, 16 hours to get ready before the sustained tropical storm force winds arrive in the area. So if you're living in Belize or the southern Yucatan Peninsula, all the way up to Punta Allen, Mexico, be prepared for hurricane conditions. Anyway, this will continue off to the west across the Yucatan. The earlier indications were that this could re-strengthen to a hurricane in the southern Gulf of Mexico, the Bay of Campeche, and head into Veracruz. But it looks like Veracruz will be affected, but by a tropical storm. This simply will not have enough time to regather to hurricane strength in the in the Bay of Campeche. Now, if this becomes a major hurricane and continues scooting quickly into the Bay of Campeche, it could be a hurricane for Veracruz. So Veracruz needs to pay close attention. This would be Friday for Veracruz if this system ends up hitting them, but it looks like right now it'll be a tropical storm. So everybody in Belize and the southern Yucatan need to be prepared for hurricane conditions. Now here are the Hurricane Hunter fixes. They're out there flying right now, and they're finding surface wind 67 knots. We're up near hurricane strength already. This may already be a hurricane, actually, and it probably will be at the next advisory. It's cranking up rather rapidly. We have a pressure 996 millibars, and we have a closed eye wall of 9 nautical miles out there. And we have some very strong winds right outside of the eye wall here. We're talking winds. There's a 77 knot gust right there on the east side of the eye on the system. That's 87 mile-an-hour winds on the east side. And this has a lot of warm water to go over yet before it gets close to the country of Belize and the Yucatan. So people need to be prepared. Get ready now. This thing is coming, and it could be a significant hurricane by the time it gets there. And the hurricane hunters will be out there probably flying this continuously until landfall, so we'll give you any updates as they become available. All right, let's take a look at the best performing model so far on this system. And this is the Aviation Ensemble Model number 9. There's on the front page of Hurricane City in the model maps, you'll see the Aviation Ensemble models a lot in the top performers because they've done an excellent job this year. And the Aviation Ensemble Model number 9 has been off by about 280 miles going out about 5 days. So that's the track right there. It basically takes this system off to the west near the north, basically following the NHC forecast track right in the northern Belize, and then heading into the Bay of Campeche, and then eventually affecting Veracruz over here to the left. But their landfall point right here is what we're thinking for landfall, just northern portions of the country of Belize. And let's take a look at our visible shot. This thing is really cranking up, folks. I mean, look at this nice CDO feature. This where the center is tucking underneath this ball of convection, and we have a nice rounding feature here of this. We didn't have this 24 hours ago. The system was very disorganized, but look at it now. It's really starting to wrap, and when that happens, these things can intensify rapidly, and we have a lot of heat ocean content over here to tap into. So this is going to go ahead and develop probably quickly over the next 24 hours. All right, here is our current situation. We have two systems out there. Now, Tropical Depression Florence has been downgraded. Is no longer, their NHC is no longer writing advisories on this system out in the East Atlantic, and this will be a remnant low and scoot off to the north of the Greater Antilles and then eventually get sucked up into the North Atlantic. We're not going to worry too much about Florence. All eyes are on Ernesto. But let's take a look at what the models were showing from August 4th. This is a couple of days ago. These are the intensity models. And you can see that at that time, the models, the only one that really nailed this right at this point is for 36 to 48 hours is the IVCN model right here. Now, you could argue that the ship's model has been right on this too, because right now we're right about, now this is in knots by the way, so the ship's model is indicating right now it should be already a hurricane, and it's close to a hurricane. So these two models here were right. The models that were wrong were the GFDL model, which continued weakening it right up until landfall in Central America, and the HWRF. So the two tropical models, the GFDL and the HWRF, have not handled the intensity very well on this system. Although I got to give the GFDL credit, at least it did indicate that this system is going to struggle, whereas some of the intensity models wanted to really crank this thing up when it was south of Jamaica. So all these models really, none of them did a horrible job, but the IVCN and the ship's model look like they're the good performers. Now here are the current intensity models for today, and they're indicating at landfall the peak would be the HWRF, having it up around 95 to 100 miles an hour up here, close to major hurricane strength. We'll see if that happens. Maybe the HWRF is going to nail this, but the best performers again have been the IVCN model, and that has it right around 80 miles an hour at landfall over here. And the low end is the GFDL, has it as about 70 miles an hour at landfall here. So we'll see which of these models is right. But right now the best performer is showing this as a strong Category 1 hurricane at landfall, and that's the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center. All right, here's the steering map, the actual wind shear analysis from the University of Wisconsin. And you know, yes, this is a little bit old here, a couple hours old, but important to note that we still have this northerly wind shear on the north side of the system because there's a trough in the Bahamas up here that's causing some westerly wind shear. But notice there's no high pressure building over the top of the system, but I think that's beginning to happen, and this map hasn't reflected it yet. But you like to have what's called vertical stacking, and when you have a high pressure directly over the center of a system, the clouds are able to build up centered over the eye of the system and work right up into the high elevations of the atmosphere, whereas before, the system at the low levels there was a center, but in the upper levels the higher cloud tops are being blown away from the center, and that's why the system did not strengthen. But now it looks like it's getting stacked at all levels of the atmosphere, so we can expect this system to go ahead and crank up. But pretty light wind shear out in front of this according to the map, so there's not really much to look at. In fact, here is the shear tendency map, and the blue dashed lines would indicate decreasing wind shear out in front of this, so everything is favorable for this to go ahead and crank up as it closes in on the country of Belize. All right, let's go ahead and switch images and take a look at the Hurricane City model map, and you can see that we have all of our models basically taking this over the country of Belize, the best performers anyways, which are basically these aviation ensemble models. Has been the best performer, the AP012, the AP03, and again I mentioned earlier the AP09 has been the best performer overall, and all these models are taking it into the country of Belize and then briefly taking it into the Bay of Campeche before moving inland. But these models have been shifting south, so it wouldn't surprise me if this really didn't get much into the Bay of Campeche at all. Now, I also wanted to show you the webcams. We have the current feature is the country of Belize right now at Hurricane City. Check out this webcam. This is from about 7 or 8 minutes ago, and actually it's about 15 minutes ago. I'm setting up the video, but anyway, this is about 15 minutes old, 15 to 20 minutes old. Partly cloudy skies right now, but that's going to be changing starting probably tomorrow morning. Things are going to start going downhill. This is from San Pedro town in Belize, and this area might take the hardest hit from this. So there's plenty of webcams in Belize to keep track of this, and we'll have some sporadic coverage throughout the day and the early morning hours on Wednesday as this makes landfall. at hurricanecity.tv, so check that out. Anyway, that's about it for now. Wish the people the best of luck in Belize. There will be probably no more update videos on this, although we may do one if this becomes a major hurricane before landfall. But anybody in Belize and southern Yucatan, be prepared for hurricane conditions. That's it for now. Thank you again for visiting Hurricane City.